Virginia. I'm curious, this Virginia offense looks very different than it did when you guys first met. What has been clicking for Virginia? What do you see that's working?
Oh, I think, I think they're just getting more comfortable with themselves. They're obviously with the schedule they've played, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And it's always been a talented group. And I think they've had moments of really sharing the ball really well. I think early on, it was a little bit more of, they're relying on certain individuals to dodge and get it done and score off a dodge. And now I think they're finding other players open and they're getting better at playing with themselves. It's kind of what I've seen.
Good. All right, next we'll go to Mark Larson, followed by Lindsey Kramer.
Hey, John, I wanted to ask you about, and I know you're probably not going to get into specifics, but obviously losing a guy like Chase off your team at a time like this is less than ideal. It just feels like another blow. How do you address that with the team, and how do you expect the guys to, deal with that?
I think the team is, I think they're dealing with it fairly well. Obviously it changes some personnel issues, and we're kind of adjusting to that right now. But I think the attitude's good. We're, obviously coming off a loss and want to get back in the win column. So I think the attitude's been pretty good.
Just a quick follow. Do you feel like it's just been a season of kind of body blows? Do you feel like this is another?
I do a little bit, but I've got to stay positive and keep coaching and keep our focus on what it's going to take to beat our next opponent. I've been doing this for a while, so it's not the only time I've dealt with situations like this. And I'm just going to keep coaching and do what I do and keep the attitudes up. We've had a number of injuries going down the stretch here, so it feels like one more injury where you're not going to be able to have a player to use. So we have to be next man up.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Lindsey?
John, just to clarify, is Chase out for the game, the season, the career? What's the timetable here?
That's really, I don't know. That's something that I'm sure someone's going to tell me after they've looked into the situation here.
But definitely out this week.
I don't know.
Okay. And you mentioned injuries. I had heard something that Jacob Butterborough may have sprained or hurt his ACL in practice this week and might be done. Can you give me any light on that?
I think we'll know for sure probably early to mid next week.
He's not going to play this weekend?
I don't think so.
And can you tell us who's going to jump up for Chase on attack?
We've had Griffin Cook there before. Owen Siebold's a past attackman. We've got guys like Mikey Berkman in the wings that have been doing a really good job. Just a few names off the top of my head.
Okay. Thanks.
Welcome.
Tyler and then Eric.
Hey, Coach, 3 straight ACC losses with the season quickly coming to an end with 2 more games. What is the level of urgency amongst this team to kind of make it back to the NCAA tournament and finish off what was a shortened season last season?
Yeah, I think that that's the reason that we have a handful of guys back here is because they wanted to, have a shot at the NCAAs. And, so I think they understand the urgency here, and they're doing everything they can in practice to pay attention. And, I obviously have played the Cavaliers once already, so we're a little bit familiar with them as they are with us. And, I'm sure with beating them like we did the first time, they're going to want to come after us with everything they've got. So we've got to come prepared to play.
And just a quick follow-up, what are you trying to tell them to keep the guys' eyes on the prize, even though things are not looking great right now?
Well, it's an experienced group, and we have great leadership. I think that's one of the strengths of our team, to have these guys not have any COVID positives, which I find it very almost unusual considering the number on our team and being in college. So things like that, they've stayed focused on those things. And I think they'll stay focused on what it's going to take to win lacrosse games.
Eric and then Andrew.
John, that was kind of the angle I was gonna ask, but I guess I'll just go with this. Just when you have this kind of experience back, does it make it easier to, I guess, to kind of keep their focus with what's ahead? Because the way that the season closes and the type of competition that you guys have, maybe a younger roster would get overwhelmed by the situation.
Yeah, I suppose it could, but like I said, I think that we've got 5 terrific captains. It starts right there. They've all been a great input through the season. We've talked to them as far as the attitude of the team and things that they feel they need to work on, and getting some input from them. And I think that we've kind of divided up into pods off the field and and on the field also. But I think they've done a really good job with that, and I hope it's going to carry over into these games.
Andrew.
Hi, John. I just wanted to check in on the status of Nick and Brandon heading into Saturday. Any update on their availability or their timetable to come back from the injuries?
I think we'll probably know for sure next week. I'm hoping BA gets out there a little quicker, but we'll see. Some of it determine how they can perform in practice.
So they won't play then on Saturday, or they will? There's a chance.
That's a good question. I think just for the team's sake, we'll say that there's a chance.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Roshan and then Marco.
Coach, I want to ask about Griffin Cook in particular. Obviously he's taken a bit of a diminished role this year compared to last year at least. What have you seen from him this season? And I guess what do you expect to see from him this weekend without Chase, or assuming without Chase?
Yeah, well, he'll need to step up. He's started on attack before, so I think he's familiar with it. We'd obviously like to get him in the scoring column some more. He's a good Dodger. He runs the offense really well. He understands it. He knows where to be within the offense. So we're going to rely on his experience in the past and his ability to run the offense.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to talk a little bit about the defense. Can you explain what's helped Cole kind of emerge as a fill-in for Nick DiPietro when he's been injured?
He's done well in practice. He's been right there. He's a very good one-on-one defender, and he's been getting a lot of practice, obviously, in the package, which is important. And I think that I think he's been getting better there, just the experience now and getting him in game situations. But he's done well in practice, and that's why he's starting out there now.
Tommy, and then back to Mike.
Hey, Coach, I know you mentioned that when it comes to something like a player suspension that you've been coaching for a while and that you've dealt with something like this before. What have you learned from those past experiences? And is it more so your attitude towards how you talk to the other players about it?
Well, yeah, there has to be communication with the team. They just can't be left in the dark on things, and talking to them about, keeping their focus and not let it be a big distraction for them. It's obviously going to give others opportunities to play and step up. And I think the thing I've learned is these processes sometimes take time, and you got to let them play out. The coach doesn't have control over them.
Hey, John, a couple specific personnel ones for Virginia, starting with number 5, Matt Moore. How does it change the challenge for you that he's become more of a distributor and maybe a little more balanced to his game as the season's gone on?
Yeah, you're exactly right. I've noticed that. We've noticed that. I think that, when he first came into the Carrier Dome, we could help out a little bit more and double team him if he was to, beat his man. And we had a little success with that. Now that I think he's getting others involved and finding open people, that makes him a bigger threat in that situation. And, we're hoping we can play some good individual defense so we don't have to help out that much. But he's such a strong Dodger that there are going to be times when we have to go. And he's got such range, and he's got a great ability to shoot the ball under pressure. So a defenseman can be on him, and they can have a stick on him and be checking him, and he still has an uncanny ability to get the shot off, and he's got such great range that he's definitely a huge threat.
And then number 6, Doc Aitken, who left to play football and early in the year was sort of a non-factor. He's really seemed to have got his game back. How does that change the defensive approach?
Yeah, well, it just gives him another midfielder that's, he's so athletic. And then the physical size also, on top of it, it creates some matchup issues. And then when he's starting to find the back of the net, he's obviously a very dangerous player. So it just gives them one more big weapon that they can go to.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll go back to Lindsay and then Mark.
Hello again. I just wanted to see if there's any updates yet on a possible another game at the end of the regular season there.
I should know early next week.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mark?
John, back to what you were saying before about how you've coached for a long time. You've seen a lot of stuff happen. You haven't seen a season like this happen in terms of losses at the Dome with as big a margin. What do you think's going on? Is it just injuries? Is it just one of those years? What do you think is the deal this year?
I wish I knew for sure. I think that, even watching the last game, the ball was just bouncing the wrong way. And, going back and watching the replay, how many, the game starts with a face-off, and our face-off guys, had we had gotten the ball out, we controlled the face-off a high percentage of the time. And I just was shaking my head early in the game because we'd get the ball out and we'd throw it away, or, the face-off guy would not pick it up. I mean, it was unbelievable. And to give that dangerous offense so many possessions, especially early in the game. And then on top of it, you throw in, some new people defensively that, haven't been able to ease themselves into game situations. They've been thrown right into the fire, and, DPH are out and BA out. Woody Schaefer wasn't out there. He gives us a little depth in that short stick position. And then you throw in defenses have to be very cohesive. They got to function as a unit, and you throw in 2 or 3 new pieces. It's just a game like that. It was difficult. So it just seemed like when it rained, it poured, and there were a lot of things that that went wrong in a game like that.
And how hopeful are you that your team in the next couple of games, the last 2 games possibly, can finally, start to figure this thing out?
Yeah. Well, we got a little bit more experience with some of the people that we just talked about. Again, we're on the road, and we're at Virginia. There's nothing cavalier about the Cavaliers. So we got to come to play, and we know it's at stake. And I think that, it's such a huge game before, because we came off the Army loss after, not practicing very much. And then, boy, we came out and we played almost a perfect game against Virginia just 1 week later. So it's, be nice to duplicate that this weekend.
Good luck. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Tyler?
Coach, given the fact that it was such a bad loss last week against Carolina, what has been the focus in practice this week in terms of taking on Virginia, a team who, you've already beaten this season, but that was almost 2 months ago to this point?
Oh yeah. No, this is going to be a different game. And I think it's just been, a lot of talk, and this coming from the players, is focus. And that, that's been the kind of the word of the week, is to stay focused on practice, what our assignments are going to be going into the Virginia game, and, executing our offense and defense. And they do a lot of 10-man ride like Carolina did. And that was another aspect of the game that wasn't good, especially early. We would bobble the face off, and then Carolina would have an opportunity. We get a stop early in the game, and then we didn't clear the ball with their 10-man ride, gave it right back to them, and it was just a calamity of errors. So we've got to improve on that aspect of the game. first game, they 10-manned us, and we were able to get it out pretty quickly, and our percentages were high. And with our new people, we got to make sure that they're comfortable and know where they're supposed to be in clearing situations.
Thank you.
We'll take a few more. We'll start with Mark.
I'm sorry that my hand was still up.
Oh,
No.
my fault. I didn't put you down. We got time
I'll
for a
take it
couple
down.
more than if anybody's got them, and then otherwise we'll let Coach hop off here.
Thanks, John.
Everybody all good? Thank you very much.
Okay.